Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce to you Senator Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr.
Very much, President Philip Nazareno, President of the Rotary Club Makati, Dasmarinas, General Villarreal, the immediate past district governor, past President Inky Reyes, who has come to join us, past President Juar Buted, and our moderator, Director Conrad Banal, the presidents and officers and members of all the other Rotary clubs who have come to join us at this district convention. But anyway, I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very glad that for such a large turnout. Unfortunately, the things that the senator are concerned with are not terribly entertaining subjects for public speaking, but it's something that I believe, although it should be a subject of great concern, has not really been given sufficient thought or time or discussion. And I'm talking about because in the past maybe 2 or 3 weeks, so many people have come to me and have asked, what do you think about the situation that we have, the Philippines now, that we are facing in the, you're not allowed to call it the South China Sea anymore. We call it the West Philippine Sea. And what are we supposed to do? What is in their view, my view on the situation? As some of you may know, the diplomatic relations with China were initiated by the Philippines in 1974 and during my father's time as president. And I was lucky enough to be on the first trip, the first official delegate, part of the first official delegation in 1974, headed by my mother, going to China. But in any case, the point I'm making is that it was considered a high point in Philippine diplomacy because it was a very, very important step. It was a step that was opposed very strongly by the United States, and in fact it was perhaps a point of, shall we say, disagreement between their government and ours and my father. Again, my mother was sent, and eventually that resulted in the Tripoli Agreement and a relative peace in the South. And he told me that my father said, we have some conflicting claims over certain islands in then still called the China Sea. And Deng Xiaoping said, and he said, maybe we should take it up to the United Nations. And Deng Xiaoping said to him, no, don't, let's not bring it to the United Nations. Nothing will ever happen. Nothing will ever be decided in the United Nations. And he said, what we will do is that you tell us what you want, we will tell you what you want, we will talk about it, but let us not fight about it. That is why we have to be, I think we have to recognize very clearly that this is a problem that belongs between China and the Philippines. And the minute, as I said, you bring the United States into it, it changes the character of the relationship completely. We are on the American side, or we are on the Chinese side. That is not the proper way to conduct diplomacy. When you are a diplomat or you are an official, and you are in multilateral or bilateral discussions with any other country, you are working for the Philippines. We must remind our DFA that they work for the Republic of the Philippines. They do not work for the State Department of the United States. They do not work for the Foreign Ministry of the People's Republic of China. But you see, to get to this point, you have to have had this very fevered reporting, this very fevered pronouncements coming from our government. We have to change that. So we are continuously trying to influence policy in the Senate. Hopefully, our lonely voices in the wilderness will be listened to, and that hopefully soon this feverish exchange that is constantly going on between our two countries will cease, and we will no longer think of it as a security problem. and that the opportunities that I talked about will finally be available to everyone. Well, I hope that that has given you a little insight into the kind of things, ito yung mga pinag-aaksayan namin ng panahon sa Senado. But it is a serious problem. It is a serious problem, and the ordinary citizens can do a lot in sort of engaging our Chinese partners in whatever form or fashion, be it in business, be it on an individual basis, whatever it is. And I believe that it is possible for the private sector now to take the initiative here, because it will be a saving face for our government. Para namang hindi naman sila paatrasin, sabihin natin, di mga negosyante muna ang pumasok. Sila makipag-usap. Once those ties are strengthened, then we are talking about other things, not just standoffs and not just about fighting over islands. That is where I believe the private sector can come in, and it is something that we are going to encourage. And I hope that in our next district convention, that I can report to you at least some success. Thank you and good evening.